Hello, welcome to Season 2 of the Hoothoot Draft Association. Once again, I am playing as the Sutopolot City Sweethearts, and we're hoping to defend our title and get another bag of sweet chili Doritos. So this season, instead of being a points system for drafting, there are 8 tiers. I'm probably just going to be calling them Tier 1 to Tier 8, though they do have letter names that I've put here. And every Pokemon in Regulation MB has been siloed into one of these 8 tiers, and you can only pick one Pokemon from each tier, so it's a snake draft when your pick is up. You just pick one Pokemon, and then all the Pokemon in that tier are now unavailable to you. You have to pick one from each tier. And there's another rule this season that over the 8 regular season matches, every Pokemon has to come to 2 games, which basically, or they have to come to 4 games, which is basically 2 sets. So I'm gonna have to, pick Pokemon that are good deals and that I can reasonably bring to at least 2 sets. So speaking of deals, I had a pick in the middle of the draft as my first pick, so I wasn't planning on getting anything too crazy strong. So I really just wanted something that was potentially underpriced, so I could save my S tier, tier 1 picks for later. Gardevoir Mega was tier 2, which surprised me because I think it's a top 30 Pokemon, especially in Draft League. Como also very good in Draft League, bulletproof. I kind of got destroyed by last season by Craig, and it's very Regidrago coded, so a natural pick for me. Como was in tier 3, which was crazy to me because there's not 60 Pokemon better than Como. I don't even know if there's 30. So Como, first pick for me. Pretty happy with that, though I'm going to want steel types, preferably high tier ones, to help it with its very weakness. So first idea for steel type was kind of to recreate the Mawile Regidrago, or well, I just said it out loud, the Zacian Regidrago, but with Mawile. Mega Mawile looked really fun to use to me. I've never used it before, so that was my hope, though as it was coming back up the snake, it got drafted a few picks before me by Craig, I think, so not going to be able to use that. End up, quote-unquote, settling for Goldango, though Goldango is pretty insane. I was kind of shocked it was still available in the S tier. I think people are underestimating it because of the recent nerfs that I don't think are too impactful. I think Goldango's probably overall buffed just because people can't Terra to get out of Make It Rain anymore. So I'm happy with Goldango. Would have liked Mega Mawile. Goldango also was a thorn in our side in the finals of last season, so hopefully we can bring him to the finals again, but give him the win this time. So for the next pick, I'm kind of looking at the A tier because it's slowly getting gobbled up. I notice Mega Starmie is looking pretty good. Physical attacker. My team's mostly special at this point, so I'd be pretty happy with that. Also good typing. Mega Arcanine also was what I wanted. Intimidate, crazy power. Would have been pretty happy with it. There's a lot of stuff you can do with it in Draft League. Unfortunately, both of those are picked, but it's okay because in Tier 4, female Vasculegion was waiting. Vasculegion was a huge help to the team last season, kind of had the winning blow in finals, had a lot of funny moments throughout the league. Unfortunately, we don't have power for it this year, but being a physical attacker and special attacker with 2 incredible abilities seemed like a no-brainer, especially in Tier 4. Vasculegion should have been, Vasculegion male I can understand in Tier S. Vasculegion female, no lower than Tier A. The tier gap between them is not that big. I think in Tier 4, crazy deal for Vasculegion female. So because I've kind of given up my A tier pick, it's round 4, I still haven't taken it yet. I'm kind of expecting a lot of the tier to get pilfered and for there not to be anything particularly useful to me. Obviously, there are just good Pokemon there. So I kind of focused my attention to the lower tiers. And I remember this core I used alongside Goldango and Regidrago back in Regulation E, and I want to kind of recreate it with my low tier picks. Mega Pidgeot's tier 6, Luxray is tier 7, and Simisage is tier 8. So kind of my idea is just to grab those in order. Unfortunately, or no, not yet, but I do get distracted though because Glamora and Clefable both looked really good in A tier, but I had no faith that after the 40 picks in between my round 3 and round 4 that it would come back to me. But as I'm kind of watching the draft unfold, no one is taking Mega Glamora. I see a way worse Pokemon getting chosen in my opinion, and as it comes back to me, I'm just thinking I have to Mega Glamora on the team. I can't let it get sniped. I'm delaying my plan for the low tiers, so that might not go well. But Mega Glamora just seems so much better than everything else in the tier at that point. Not a bad pick for the A tier. And I've been using Basculegion and Glamora, not necessarily in leaf forms, all the way back in Reg A. So I think it's a pretty natural fit for me here. So back to the plan. Gonna use my next picks to grab these three, hopefully. What could go wrong? Mega Pidgeot does get taken in round 5. Probably should have expected it. Mega Pidgeot did not belong in Tier 6. I think it's a pretty decent Pokemon in a Draft League format. So there goes my Tailwind pick. Pretty sad. Probably should have prioritized that earlier. So I end up just going with Luxray, who is, part of that trio. I think Luxray is way better than most of the Pokemon in Tier 7, being an Intimidator with access to Volt Switch, really good. Also a physical attacker, which my team kind of needs right now, though it can do other stuff. So I'm pretty happy with that, though normal Pidgeot was also in Tier F, so I did kind of have to sacrifice having a good Tailwind user for that, because the only other one I think is in Tier G is like Toucan and Decidueye, and those not my highest priority. So not a whole lot happens next round. I am wanting Fake Out, and all the good Fake Out users in the middle tiers are kind of sniped by now. I think the only one left was Pikachu. I didn't really want that, especially after I'd already drafted Luxray. So I just go for Simisage. It's Rillaboom at home. Decently fast Fake Out, has some other fun tools, and grass coverage is always nice, especially with all the water types in Draft League. So not a bad pick. I still have my Tier 5 and 6 D and E left, so hopefully while everyone's picking their low tiers, I'll be able to just grab something useful there. So I was wanting a second Mega Evolution, and because Glamora, already good without the Mega, so I see these two in Tier 5. My friend Shar said it's kind of insane that Pyroar is still Tier 5, because it is not nearly as bad as we thought it would be, and I agree, though I think Mega Chimecho would have been really useful for my team. There's a lot of synergies I saw with it, especially having Trick Room for another potential slow Pokemon I would get in Tier 6. But nope, I go with Pyroar. It's too fun not to use. It's very Regidrago coded. What could go wrong? Going to do a million damage, also a lot faster than all the Pokemon on my team. So pretty happy with that pick, especially with round 7 in the draft. Unfortunately, there's really not much for me to do because I am the last person who's going to be able to pick from Tier 6, so I just gotta hope that something useful comes back to me. I will get a choice between at least 2 Pokemon. That's what the draft, that's the way it's laid out. And I kind of hope that either Reuniclus or Spiritomb would come back to me. They're both slow, bulky, Trick Room, and a ton of other support moves, so I think either would be useful. And I am happy to report Spiritomb did make it back to me. I know at the very end, I think it was like just Spiritomb, Beartic, and Mawile in tier, despite me wanting Mawile earlier. Did not want it at this point. And I rejoiced when I saw the last person before me pick Beartic and letting me have Spiritomb. I did not want Beartic. Spiritomb, obviously, kind of the 8th pick on this team, but I don't think I'll have trouble finding 2 sets to bring it to, so I hopefully will be able to avoid that penalty, despite thinking it would be funny to just, bring the best 6 every week and just eat it at the end. Overall, pretty happy with the team. Obviously, my plans got interrupted in the middle there. I wouldn't say it's the best team in the league. There's a few teams that look very stacked, though I would say this is a top 10 team. And, I think with the right amount of skill and luck, I will be able to bring this to a second championship. So, I'm going to be chasing that bag of Doritos throughout the season. I'll be uploading my matches as they happen, so look forward to those in the future.